Today we're going to look at the hands, the position of the hands in a downward facing dog, in a plank, and many of our weight bearing poses, how this affects comfort in the arms. I often hear in yoga classes, my wrists hurt, what can I do about this? You're taking a downward facing dog, a plank, the wrists start to hurt. We're going to look at that. Let's take a look at Angela's hands. So often we arrive on our mat and our hands will look something in the configuration of Angela has them. Can you see how there's little muscle energy in her fingers? She's not engaging her fingers at this point. And when you don't engage the hands and engage the fingers, the underside of the arm becomes vulnerable. And guess what? The weight goes right into the wrist joint. So you start adding weight to this alignment and it's going to hurt. Let's look at what we do to improve weight bearing for the arms in a downward facing dog in a plank. Angela has her hands aligned so that the creases of the wrists are in alignment with the front of the mat. That's a good alignment. From here, Angela's going to press all 10 fingers into the mat, and she's even going to press her knuckles into the mat. You can see how the arm gained more strength. The underside of the arm is supported, and this will actually take weight off of that wrist when she takes a weight-bearing pose like a downward-facing dog. Angela, let's go ahead and take a downward-facing dog now. Good. So you can see there's more even distribution of muscle energy through her fingers, through her hands, and indeed all the way through the underside of the arm, which will refer in turn to the shoulder. Okay, so now Angela's going to show you from the side what happens to the underside of the arm when the hand comes more up in kind of a claw position. So you can see once again how the fingers are not pressing into the mat evenly. She takes her right hand to the underside of that arm, and you can see the underside of the arm, it's not engaged. You can see how it moves. So we're looking for more even muscle energy, muscle collaboration, muscle participation in our weight-bearing poses. So Angela presses her 5 fingers of that left hand into the mat. She presses her knuckles into the mat. Now she's going to take her right hand, and can you see the difference? Can you see how that arm is now engaged? That's going to help her as she comes into another weight-bearing pose, which is going to be a full plank. So now she's in a full plank. She presses all 10 fingers into the mat evenly. The underside of her arms are nice and strong. And it's a weight-bearing pose, a big weight-bearing pose commonly done in yoga. Well then, Angela, come on out. We're going to show an exercise that strengthens the underside of the arms, that's helpful for every downward facing dog, every plank, every handstand, every half plank. Angela's going to bring her arms forward. She presses all 10 fingers into the mat. She presses the knuckles into the mat. And she's going to isometrically draw her arms back toward the back of the mat. So again, she's going to feel the strength on the underside of her arms. As the arms draw back, the shoulder blades will also go down the back. This is a beautiful exercise. It appears actually pretty simple, but try this at home because you'll be surprised at how much effort Angela's putting into this pose. You're going to really feel the strength on the underside of your arms. This is also great, say, for musicians, anyone with carpal tunnel. So every downward dog that you do with this awareness of pressing through the fingers, pressing through the knuckles, firing the muscle on the underside of the arm, I call it the I can do it muscle, like Rosie the Riveter. Every time you do the poses commonly done in yoga with proper alignment and proper muscle energy, you're building to be able to do more weight-bearing poses, such as arm balances, like a handstand. So Angela's going to come into a handstand from a downward-facing dog. She walks her feet in. Notice her foundation. She's taking the position of the hands just as she did earlier. She keeps the core nice and broad. She presses through her fingertips nice and evenly. She presses through the knuckles. And from there, she has a nice, strong foundation with your arms. Note that she is not overbending her elbows. Well done, Angela. And this is a big weight-bearing pose. You want to have nice, strong hands, nice, strong arms for this pose. Well done. So now if your wrists start to hurt in a downward facing dog or in a plank position, you're going to know what to do when you go into your classes or doing your home practice. Remember to press evenly through all 10 fingertips. Remember to press through the knuckles. The underside of the arm will get strong. Over a period of time, you can start bearing more weight, and that will move you to poses like a handstand. We're going to cover a handstand in another video. Stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, if you have any comments, comment below. Look forward to hearing from you.